Hi everyone, I'm Chris, Customer Success Manager at Qminder, and today let's talk about the service view. I will show you the most important features and break down a typical workflow. It will take you literally 5 minutes to start feeling comfy with the service view. So set your watches and let's go. So this is what we call the service view, and it's where all the magic happens. It has everything you need for superior customer service, all in one place. On the left, you can see the most important part of the service view, the waitlist. The waitlist shows your visitors' names, the line they are in, and how long they've been waiting. To see the waitlist for a different line, select one or more lines from the list at the top. The visitors in the waitlist are sorted into 3 categories: serving, waiting, and served. Okay, so how do we actually serve a visitor? That's simple. First, choose your desk from the list so that visitors know where to go. Now, select the visitor you want to serve. Visitors who have been waiting the longest are shown at the top of your waitlist. So let's start with John. Clicking on John's name takes us to his profile, complete with personal information and activity log that captures all the steps of his customer journey. If you're ready for service, then click on the Call Visitor button below. This will play a notification on the TV in your waiting area, alerting the visitor of their turn and guiding them to the desk that you selected before. And if you have SMS features enabled, the visitor will receive a text message notifying them of their turn. You can also start the chat conversation under the visitor's activity log to make sure everything is ready for service. Now that we have started serving John, his status changed to serving now, with a small clock to help us keep track of time. When you're done serving a visitor, you'll notice that you got 2 options: Call Next or Finish Serving This Visitor. If you click Call Next, you don't need to select the next visitor to continue serving. Instead, the system automatically calls the next visitor from the waitlist. But if you have some paperwork to complete or a lunch break coming up, Call Next is not the right fit. Click on Finish Serving This Visitor instead to end the service without calling the next visitor. For the most part, this is how working with Qminder will look like. But sometimes, serving a visitor requires a bit more input from your side. Now that we have served John, he appears in the served category. The next one in the waitlist is Betty. Let's call her up. I mentioned the visitor's activity log before, but let's look at it closer in Betty's profile. Any changes in a visitor's journey are recorded so as to give you as many details as possible. For example, it says here that Betty has been forwarded to this line. That means another clerk saw that she joined the wrong line and based on that information in her profile, guided her to us. The need to forward a visitor to a different line is something that can happen, so let's cover that quickly. Look at the bottom of Betty's profile. We have already covered what these 2 buttons do, but there's also the arrow sign right next to them. If you click on it, you will see a list of options that say Call Again, No Show, Return to Queue, Assign To, Forward, and Remove. These are additional calling options in case you need to resend a notification, mark your visitors as missing, return them to queue or send to a different one, assign a new clerk to handle the case, or remove them from the waitlist. There's no need to forward Betty again, since she is in the correct line, but it's been a minute since we called her. Maybe it's time to call her again. Just like before, calling a visitor plays a notification on the TV screen and sends them a text message. Sometimes you need to write down information about the visit, and you can do that by editing the visitor profile at any time during service. For example, we can ask Betty for her email address and type it in her profile. We can also write down some additional information about the visitor with customized input fields. Or we can also use labels. For example, if you want to forward a visitor to a different line, labels can be helpful to let other clerks better understand the situation and the visitor. To add a label, choose one from the list or create a new one. Okay, so we've added a few details and labels to Betty's profile and then finished serving her. what's next? Again, if you want to go straight to the next visitor, click Call Next. And if you wish to have a short break, click Finish serving this visitor. Whichever option you pick, let's say goodbye to Betty. She's been a huge help. Now, wasn't that easy? Qminder's service view puts full control in your hands, and it never requires any technical work. If you're tired of wasting both your and your visitors' time, try Qminder's service view and feel the difference.